Have you ever heard the saying, sometimes the people meant to change our lives come when we least expect them? Well, this is one of those stories. And it doesn't start with love, or money, or power. It starts with a single mom, tired, worn out, holding her son's hand, and a man who seemed to have everything, but was more alone than he had ever admitted. Their paths collided one evening in the most ordinary place, and neither of them knew that moment would rewrite the course of their lives forever. Maya was 32. Life hadn't been kind to her, but she carried herself with quiet strength. She worked double shifts as a waitress in a small diner, barely making enough to pay rent and keep her son, Aram, in school. Every day, she smiled at customers even when her feet ached, even when her stomach growled because she had skipped meals so her child could eat. Her dreams? They had been buried long ago under bills, responsibilities, and heartbreak. Yet, beneath her tired eyes was a woman who still carried hope, fragile, but alive. Across the city, in a tall glass building, lived Adrian Malik. On paper, he was everything: CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech companies, admired, feared, and respected. But when the office lights went out and he returned to his luxurious penthouse, the silence was crushing. His parents had passed years ago. His friends only saw him as a wallet. And despite countless women showing interest, every date felt hollow, like they wanted the idea of him, not the man he really was. Adrian was lonely. Painfully lonely. And he was starting to wonder if he would ever know what real love felt like. One Friday evening, a friend set him up on a blind date at a cozy restaurant. Adrian, already skeptical, went anyway, hoping maybe, just maybe, it would be different this time. But within minutes, he realized the woman across from him wasn't interested in him. She was interested in his money, his power, his name. She bragged about how much she deserved to be spoiled and how she never dated broke men. Adrian felt his chest tighten. He smiled politely, but inside, he wanted to leave. That was when Maya walked in. She wasn't dressed fancy, just a plain blue dress and a cardigan, holding her son's hand as they came to pick up a small takeaway order. Aram was tugging on her sleeve, asking if they could share a slice of cake later. Adrian's eyes caught hers for the briefest second, and something shifted inside him. She looked tired, yes, but there was warmth in her smile as she bent down to whisper something that made her little boy laugh. Meanwhile, Adrian's date snapped her fingers at the waiter. Loud. Rude. Embarrassing. Hurry up, do you not see who you're serving? She scoffed, as if she owned the place. Adrian's jaw tightened. He hated arrogance. When Maya stepped up to the counter, her card got declined. Twice. Her cheeks burned with shame. She mumbled, "I'll just take the soup then, please. Cancel the rest." She pulled out a few crumpled notes from her purse while her son looked down sadly. Before Adrian even realized it, he had stood up. "Put it on my bill," he said firmly. The waiter nodded, but Maya shook her head. "No, sir. Thank you, but I can't let you do that. I'll manage." Her voice was soft but carried dignity. She wasn't begging, she wasn't pitying herself. She was simply surviving. Something about that strength in the middle of her struggle made Adrian's chest ache. His date, on the other hand, rolled her eyes. "Really, Adrian? You're paying for strangers now?" That was the final straw. He placed his napkin down, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "This isn't going to work. Good night." Then he walked away from the table, from the fake laughter, from the empty world he was tired of, but he didn't leave the restaurant. Instead, he walked over to Maya. "Please, allow me. Just tonight." He wasn't trying to embarrass her, his tone was gentle, almost pleading. Maya hesitated, then finally nodded. "All right, thank you." That moment, simple, small, was the beginning. In the weeks that followed, their paths crossed again and again. Sometimes at the diner where Maya worked, sometimes in the park where Aram played. Adrian started showing up, at first with excuses. "I was nearby," but slowly, it became obvious he was drawn to them. He laughed more when Aram was around. He listened intently when Maya spoke about life, about struggle, about dreams she once had. Unlike anyone else, she didn't care about his money. She cared about kindness, about honesty, about love. And for the first time in years, Adrian felt like a man, not a bank account. But their journey wasn't easy. Maya was cautious. She had been hurt before by Aram's father, who left when responsibility got too heavy. She feared letting anyone close again, especially someone like Adrian. "Men like you don't end up with women like me," she whispered one night when he confessed his feelings. Adrian's reply was steady, "Then maybe it's time men like me prove you wrong." Still, the world around them didn't stay quiet. People whispered. Maya's co-workers gossiped that she was using him. Business magazines speculated about the mysterious woman spotted with the CEO. Adrian's board of directors even warned him, saying his image could be damaged. But through it all, Adrian stood tall. He wasn't ashamed of her. If anything, he was proud. The biggest test came when Aram fell sick. Hospital bills piled up, and Maya nearly broke down. She told Adrian not to get involved, but he stayed by her side anyway, day and night, proving his love wasn't just words. "I'm not here for easy days," he told her, holding her hand in the waiting room. "I'm here for all the days." That was the moment Maya's walls finally crumbled. She saw the man behind the title. The lonely soul who had everything, yet was starved of love. And she realized her heart had been waiting for him 2 months later, standing in the same restaurant where they first met. Adrian knelt down, not with extravagance, but with sincerity. "Maya, I don't want perfect. I just want real. Will you share real life with me?" Tears filled her eyes as she said yes, and so, the poor single mom who thought she'd lost her chance at happiness walked into the arms of the lonely CEO who had been searching all his life. Together, they built something richer than wealth, stronger than fear, and more beautiful than they ever imagined, because sometimes love doesn't come dressed in perfection. Sometimes it comes in tired smiles, crumpled notes, and soup orders. Sometimes, love is simply two broken souls finding home in each other. Sparkles. And to everyone listening, maybe this story is your reminder too that no matter where you are in life, no matter how broken, love has a way of finding you when you least expect it. Hold on. Your story isn't over yet.